But one of my buddies is really funny, and he started trolling me immediately when my wife posted the pictures. He's like, "Oh man, obviously Condit wasn't aware of the California engagement tax." And he went down this whole elaborate explanation that, oh yeah, they tax you 70% of what you bought with the ring. And it's California, so I believed every moment of it for the first half hour.
Yeah.
I was like, they got me again,
Oh, Beatitudes, you are here with us at the tiny table. We are the Beatitudes, welcoming Beatitudes from all over the world to this great show for Christian men seeking to grow in their walk with the Lord, walking in authentic fraternity, #1 fraternity podcast in America.
Yeah, beating out all the Greek fraternities.
Actual, yeah. But this is truly a place of humor, holiness, and humorness, and that is when humor and holiness come together to make you just feel the Holy Spirit tugging at them heartstrings. All right, well, listen, my name's Jeff Scheffelbein. I was not born in Texas, but I ain't leaving. I'm here to welcome my co-hosts, Nick Besner.
I was born in Texas, and I never left.
All right, I left. It got weird. Paul Kolker.
And I was born in Texas and have left a couple different times, but always come back.
Oh, they always come back.
Yeah.
No, I've never left.
Well, okay, Mr. Munster. No, Lindsay. Lindsay?
Munster's like their competitors. So let's
Yeah,
just,
sorry.
I'm sorry for all you in Munster.
My mom
I'm so sorry.
is from Munster. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Love the cheese there.
She
though.
converted.
I can't wait to dive in with our guest. I did, though, go to my first monster truck jam the other night.
What?
Come on.
I took my 3 boys. It was a gift. But I have to tell you this because what you just said, like Munster versus Lindsay, Texas. Monster Truck Jam is not a real race. It is actually a scripted, fake wrestling thing. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Did not know that.
The ATVs was Team Texas versus Team Oklahoma, the cheaters. Oh, my goodness. It was so painful and beautiful. Okay, so let's dive right in here on the Beatitudes. We are here to welcome a guest that we've been friends with for the last year plus, but this man has been making waves, drove in, not even from his hometown. We'll talk about that in a minute, but he's here to be a part of the Beatitudes today, Mr. Joe Condit. Joe.
I'm so honored to be. Guys, you made it in life in 2 ways. You get bobbleheads made yourself, and you're on the Beatitudes.
Let's go.
thank
I mean, I think I'm going to retire after tonight.
Well, we'll
I
try
think-
to figure out the bobblehead thing and send that your way, too. And then you're done.
Do you know what would be the perfect bobblehead, Joe, if you want to put your people on this? It's the 4 of us talking, and then there's a bobblehead tiny table. And it's to scale because, I mean, we're all extremely close together right now.
Yes. We emphasize that on almost every show just to make the audience feel slightly awkward.
Would the table shake or the heads?
That's a good question. If this was a wobbly table in real life, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
Joe, you have a bunch of great stuff to talk about. I would love to maybe hold on to some family stuff for the bonus show because I want people to know Joe is the founder of the largest Catholic Speakers Bureau in the world, just like this is the best comedy podcast for men of faith and fraternity in the world.
Yep.
Yep.
If you niche down far enough, you
Say
can be the
enough words
best
and
at
it's like,
anything.
no one will refute
In
that.
Irving. It's called the Catholic Speakers Organization. This is a huge deal.
Yeah, by the grace of God, it's something that's grown. It's grown into something I've never even imagined.
You were just some punk kid just
24,
launching websites or
25
what?
year old. Yeah, I was 24, 25 years old. My sister started speaking as a high schooler to other high schoolers, and that's where it just kind of went from one person, and now almost 450 today.
You're like repping your baby sister.
Yeah,
Were you banking bank off it? Were you getting some top
about
line?
$100.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
At 25?
yeah.
Let's pump that 100 back in SEO right now.
There you go. Yeah, it was wild. She started filling gymnasiums with, parents and students coming to hear her message to young girls about living their life for Christ. And I still remember to this day the conversation I had with her. I said, Christina, I hear what you're doing. Like, what are they paying you to do this? And she said, I don't know, like $50. She's got thousands of people coming to us. Like, there's got to be other Christinas out there that need some help, with contracting and, making this a little bit more non-lopsided. So that's kind of that's the beginning of what we know today now as the Catholic Speakers Organization.
Yeah, and you need to have professionalization and all this stuff. It's not just because you're giving a gift to others, because you're doing some sort of evangelization or a calling, doesn't mean you're supposed to be eating only ramen noodles.
Right, yeah.
With no insurance.
Right.
That's why good people quit things. They're like, well, I was doing this great ministry, and now I'm an accountant.
Yep.
Yeah. But I've got benefits.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you're taking vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience as a nun or a brother or something where you're saying, okay, no, I want to be poor for the sake of the kingdom. But it's another thing if you're actively building up the church, but you're also trying to raise a family or something like that. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a real eye-opener, but the real benefit that came out of it was realizing that nothing ever existed prior to the website. It was all done by word of mouth.
Man, that's
so,
crazy.
Yeah, it was just, me calling Jeff, from Ohio to Texas saying, hey, who'd you have last year? Was he any or was she any good? And
the phone tree method.
Yeah.
You call a couple friends
Yeah.
and they keep calling.
Can you three-way dial me in?
I just got the caller ID.
That's hilarious. We played the AOL sound. Do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
We played that to my nephew in front of his dad and said, hey, I want you both to listen to this sound and tell us do you know what this is? He had no idea.
Yeah.
He's a senior in high school, no idea that AOL. Remember that?
Yeah. And I mean,
No
you
idea.
would start getting antsy, like, it's coming. Yeah, it's about to
almost
be
time.
on. Yeah. 5 more minutes, I'll be able to type something.
I can message my friend that I just saw at school, say, hey,
Hey.
I'm messaging you.
what's
You
up?
finish a whole cup of coffee before your first email.
Yeah.
So
When Napster came out, I downloaded a song, went to school, came back, finished it. Like,
Now, real quick, for all the people who are under 25 out there, Napster was a way to get music before iTunes.
oh
yeah, Napster changed the world.
Yeah, it was also probably illegal,
I think so. Yeah.
but
They
just,
said it was, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I thought if it was on the internet when in 1999, then this is Napster was like 96. That's when I was getting into it. Anyways, let's go back. What year was it for you, Catholic Speakers? get launched?
2006.
Ooh,
Yeah,
good
2006. It was right when Facebook started making its first little wave outside of
yeah.
college campuses, if
Yeah.
you remember. MySpace was huge.
Year.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that to come back, but hasn't yet.
Did you keep your page?
My MySpace page?
Yeah.
I believe it probably still exists.
Who's in your top 8?
I have no idea. I know
Yeah.
Tom's in there. Remember the guy with the T-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
MySpace Tom, he cashed out $600 million.
Oh man, he's probably
Yeah,
just
he did well.
I bet he's broke. That's it. I mean, to cash out like that. Okay, let's go back to you.
Hard to spend it all, Jeff.
It was fun though because you got an immediate friend. It was immediate. Tom
Yeah.
was your friend. Yeah, it was back in those days when the internet really was taking that next leap, and it was so fun because it was the Wild West, and calling these Catholic speakers and there's so many blessings that came out of the organization, but one was all the connections I made. The people like you guys get to sit with and having sports people and movie people and professional athletes and business folks that you've only heard of your whole life growing up, and now you have them in your cell phone because you're helping them promote the Word of God. It's really fulfilling.
Can you just office down the hall and just book them to come see you and then stop by here? We'll
Yeah.
do the show. Take them out for a Burger King.
Little Catholic conveyor belt.
That actually is not a bad idea.
It's kind of happening on this floor right now. Anyways,
Every-
we just don't have a speakers bureau here yet, so I don't know. We're in the market. We're looking for a couple that we're talking to. So if you want to make a play, what's in it for us?
There you go. No, I
Jeff-
love that idea.
Hold on, just real quick, since I don't know how many episodes you've seen, but Jeff really loves to just like make offers or solicit offers, really, I should say, from guests.
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes it does. It's amazing.
You got to ask a lot of people.
And for only $19.99, you guys can join my church after this
Right.
episode. We'll talk about it, though. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Plus shipping and handling.
Yeah.
Man, I got to believe you had
Thanks for
some
that.
early calls where you were like, oh gosh, I'm about to be on the phone with blank. Like, this guy's a big deal. This woman is, an internationally known speaker, athlete, whatever. Like, what's one that you can remember early on where you're like, oh, I'm actually talking to this person? Like, I'm a punk kid. You're not a punk. I am.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, I know exactly who that was. That
Who?
was Father John Corapi.
But,
Oh,
wow.
how'd that
he,
go?
had, he had no idea how to go, Joe. Get your life together, boy. No, it was
Just turned into spiritual direction.
I was 24 years old, and he has no idea to this day, I think, how old I was when we started working together. And I brought him to Cincinnati, Ohio, and filled an arena where the Xavier Musketeers play basketball. And that was just an unbelievable moment in my life, because it was where the organization went from kind of a growing platform to it kind of arrived, and people started taking notice to it. And once Father Corapi worked with us, it was game on.
So
it
then,
opened up a lot of doors.
You do that big deal. You have him on there. Did you start getting inbound at that point? Was it like now you're answering the phone and you're like, wait, this isn't really. I'm trying to think of somebody.
Steven Spielberg.
Is this really E.T.?
Ouch.
Ciao.
Elliot.
Go ahead.
No, it was that was the turning point. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's a good question, because it's what really was the moment where I realized we've gone from just this fun idea to a lot of responsibility at this point, because we started having those inbounds coming in, and people, and then he was on, and then the next person, then we started, we went probably from 10 people to almost 75 in 2 years, and then just kept it going.
So question there, because you said you were, 25 when that happened?
24, 25. Yeah.
24, 25. See, because I was trying to figure out how to get off my parents' health insurance at the time. So, how did you figure out how to fill a stadium full of people?
Very
Good Lord. The good Lord, honestly, Paul, that's such a good question, because there's so many things in my life I've done where I ended up back on my parents' couch because I went broke.
Okay, well, that's fair. Yeah.
But when the good Lord's behind it, it's unbelievably easy. It's still a lot of hard work, but things just fall into place and you can't explain it.
Yeah, just he makes straight the path.
Yeah. It's man, oh man, I'll never forget when that whole arena was clearing. I'm standing there watching them just shut down, and I thought, did that just really happen? Because I just saw all these men and these women and men go in the mass. We had a mass that day, and it was just an all-day thing with Father Corapi. And you guys remember him, right? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah,
do you
I
remember
do
him at all?
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to an event of his. Actually, it was back when I was in seminary. He came and did something in Minnesota at one point. So you were probably behind that. I didn't know it at the time, but
Not the one in Minnesota.
Okay.
But no, he was. Father Mike Schmitz has kind of filled that role, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. I mean, and it's interesting because it's two totally different approaches. Yeah. You've got Father Corapi,
and then you've got, gosh, you guys. I mean, it's so cool.
It's two generations, right? It's
Yeah.
like the old school generation and the new generation, where it's kind of a little bit more softer approach. Let's just say.
Yeah, but an enthusiastic and
Yes.
energetic one for sure. Yeah.
Paul, at the end of the show, I want you to do impressions of Joe, Nick, and I. You're pretty good at this stuff. I like. What are you doing? Let's see your best Besner.
Okay.
Hey, so Joe, keep going forward with this. I know some cool stories you've shared with me before, but what are stories that are either moving and powerful, or oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened? I think about when you had Jonathan Roumie up in Ohio at the middle of 23, in March of 23. Talk about the event you did at the high school.
Oh yeah, the Grade School
the grade
Surprise,
school,
yeah, which is on the homepage of nationalmensconference.com, and of course I have to give a shout out. Jeff was one of our speakers that day, next to Jonathan Roumie on stage. That day was just amazing.
It
wasn't
was.
it?
Well, it should have been easy to stand there because he's Roumie.
Yeah, if your listeners want some feel good.
Sorry, that was so bad. We can keep going. Let's just pretend that moment didn't happen.
If the listeners want some feel good motivation, just go to the website. It's the video's on the homepage. But we thought of an idea. Kelly Woodward, who is the chair of this grade school in Cincinnati, she's been such a support role in helping us build this conference to what it is with her husband. And we thought, how cool would it be to have Jonathan Roumie pop out behind the big screen when we got the grade school that she chairs for, and it was their 100th anniversary, raising money. And so they got the whole gymnasium filled of parents and students of the school. And at the end of them watching a scene of The Chosen, You can see it all on film. It's all in the video. We had him pop out behind to surprise the kids.
Wow.
So cool.
So and we actually put in raw footage of people's cell phones. So when you watch the video, it feels like you're there,
Yeah.
and you can hear the
Super.
kids' commentary. And one girl just screams like, "Oh, it's my favorite actor!" I mean, she's just losing it. I mean, it really is such a cool moment. So yeah, we try and do some fun stuff like that.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah,
I mean, that's just like the epitome of the whole surprise and delight
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
too. Yeah, just take it to that next level.
yeah, it was. I mean, you can imagine as these kids too, your kids.
Yeah.
And everybody has role models growing up, right? Athletes or movie stars. I'm sure all of us, we could go around and talk about who affected our lives as kids. And they see one of their, people they revere just walk right out in front of them.
Yeah.
And you can
and
hear
of all things that he's famous for, it's a pretty important one.
Yeah.
Playing
Oh, man.
Jesus in The Chosen.
I can tell you guys, I've been with both of them. I've been with both the Jesus characters, and it is another level of celebrity. It is.
Is there a point where it's like it crosses over and you're like, that's actually not Jesus, y'all?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy because you know when you're with them and you're walking through crowds and you're trying to get somewhere. Normally, when I'm with talent, it's easy. Oh, it's Boss Rutan. He's a guy. I love that guy anyway, or whoever. And it's easy because it's kind of more of an approach of let me put hey buddy, let's get
Like, can I get a picture with you?
Right.
Yeah.
But with these, with the we'll call them the good Lord characters, right?
Yeah. So Jim Caviezel and Jonathan Roumie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people want to come and touch and pray, right? Like,
Oh, my goodness.
can I pray with you for a minute? I have cancer.
Who touched my robe?
Power went out for me.
And you think, and then in the position, well, I can't just push little Mary out of the way here,
Yeah, she's 88.
Right,
You don't want to
right.
knock her over.
So it's just it's wild because people they are so moved by what these guys have done, respectively,
Sure.
to what they both have done and changed the world. It just takes celebrity to a whole nother level.
Well, and I think, though, part of that, so I'm going to say kind of two brief comments here. Part of that is that so much of celebrity these days is misused, right? So seeing somebody who's actually trying to use their acting, their screen presence, their stage presence, whatever it is, to glorify God, to give God an avenue into people's lives, that already just moves the needle for people in such a powerful way. But for these two guys in particular, they really seem to have approached the entire thing as a prayer, saying, I'm going to offer this because I think Jim Caviezel even is on the record somewhere saying, like, I want to disappear into this role. I mean, he's basically saying, he must increase, I must decrease.
Right. Jim's one of the holiest men I've met, and he's just so unbelievable. His idea with that is, I hope when people see like the Passion of the Christ, and they see his role, that they see Jesus, they do not see him.
Yep.
That was his whole goal with that, and
Which explains why people are so moved by encountering him, because he was trying to be a place where God could become
Yeah,
present.
people don't see him.
Yeah. So it became true
Yeah,
in more ways than he maybe anticipated.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm
exactly.
gushing a little bit. But
No, I love it. It is fun to
We're
see
touching
people.
Joe, and Joe touched them.
yeah, so he's a second. He's a third-class relic, you guys.
He's third class, that's for sure. Whoa. Sorry. I love Jim. Wait,
you're
when's the
dead
last
on
time
with
you
it.
saw Jim Caviezel? When's the last time y'all hung out?
Last night.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we were.
Go
we-
on.
I drove straight to the. There's two things. Again, the bobbleheads, and then so we were at the national championship game for the
College football.
College football. Washington played Michigan, or the state that shall not be named. and
From Ohio.
there you
OH
go.
baby, OH.
Ohio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he invited. We went to watch the game, and I saw one of the coolest things I've ever seen in sports. And toward in the halftime, in the second half of the game, people started realizing who was
Joe's
sitting
here.
right.
That's Joe Condit.
They're gonna be sorely disappointed.
He runs that
And so-
Catholic Speakers Bureau.
And so they start taking pictures, right? Yeah. Said one person today, just now. I've made it. And so Jim's sitting they're literally this close where you
Yeah.
are, and my wife's sitting next to me right here. And my wife leans over, she goes, they're all taking pictures. And I was like, I know it. It's all right, babe. Don't worry. And she actually was able to see one of the dad's cell phones because he had his text at like 9,000 font.
Yeah.
And
like my
the
dad.
font said on this guy's phone in front of her, it said, that is 110% him. So the guy was taking pictures
taking selfies
with his buddy, you know. And one of the coolest things in sports, which I will now announce on the Beatitudes I've ever seen, is Washington. A lot of people know this. Jim actually walked on at Washington as a basketball player. So he was a D1 athlete. Which is, he's a mix of a very interesting guy. You got OCD artist mixed with competitive D1 athleticism.
Wow.
That's a guy that's going to go somewhere, you know. And so what the heck was I talking about?
The greatest moment in sports
Oh,
history.
yeah. How did I forget about that? What is going on with me? So halftime comes around, and, you know, Washington's not doing as we hoped. And I look down, and people are just, you know, music's going, people are cheering, blah, blah, blah. And he's sitting right next to me, and he's got his rosary out. And he's sitting there praying the rosary. He kept that rosary in his hand the entire second half.
Yeah.
And it made me pray during a sporting event that I would never have prayed before. You know, he's just a living testament, you know, and you know, and a lot of our speakers are like that. They try and live and walk the walk, and you know, it was a real interesting experience.
I want you to tee up another one, but I got to tell you one. I took a recruit that I had in town. He was going to be getting an entry-level job at my energy company, and I took him to a fancy restaurant in uptown Dallas. And about 3 tables away, it was just us in the courtyard, and then Tony Romo and a couple other of the Cowboys players. And people all around started snapping pictures, and I pulled the waiter aside, and I said, could you get the manager? I would like for people to stop taking pictures of me and my recruit. And this woman lost it. I was like, look, I know it's a big deal for us to be out here, but I just want him to have a normal experience just because, you know, we're here tonight at your restaurant. So...
Of course you would, Jeff.
They love you.
Of course you would.
Keep it interesting.
Yep.
Well, so speaking of Jim Caviezel, I mean, you've been running this Catholic Speakers organization, and you guys had the Sound of Freedom take off this last summer and go crazy with numbers and all that, and so I'm sure he was getting booked up and...
Yeah, he did it. The Sound of Freedom was #1 movie in America. It still, to this day, I think, as of January, whatever the date today is, 10th, 9th, beat Taylor Swift's documentary at the box office.
Whoa.
So if you look that up, I think Sound of Freedom came out as number 10, and Taylor was number 11.
That's a whole new era.
Yeah, no, I was just really blessed to be able to get involved and kind of help with whatever I could with, you know, with all the things, the craziness they had going on with the movie. And, you know, that's just one example of the many that this little Speakers Bureau idea brought into our lives.
A website,
you know,
that you started at 25 years old.
It's why, you know, we're working with guys like I mentioned before, the UFC fighter Boss Rutan, which you guys got to have him on this. He's one of the best personalities.
Do you know anybody who can book speakers?
Do you book podcast guests?
I tell people, keep me around. I'm a pill, but because I have a lot of good, cool friends.
Yeah.
You know, which includes you guys. So I'm bragging about you when I say that. You know, but
stop.
What is the #1 way to make this podcast go through the roof, like some of those films and speakers? What can you do?
Keep doing what you're doing, you know, and have guys like that on for sure. I mean, you know, we've got 450 people. We got to start getting them in here.
Well,
really.
and you know, you started a website because you wanted people to stop ripping your sister off.
Which is a good motivation.
And promote the word of God.
Amen.
Yes.
We've created this podcast because we wanted people to stop making faith so boring and promote the word of God. And it's time we stop ripping ourselves off. So I don't know what to do.
Again, another bold declaration.
Well, let's just make this episode $1 million for anybody that watches it. There you go.
All right. Well, speaking of $1 million, we want to put you on the spot with a little game.
All right. Going back to DJing? That was really cool, Jeff.
I got this. Watch this.
Here we go.
This game is called Blessed Are the Joke Makers, for they shall inherit the points. How many points? We're going to figure that out right now. It's going to be 80.
80.
That's right. And the way this is going to work is that we each have to try to act out a character on this character card.
There is no try, Paul.
We each have to act out the character on this character card in answer to the Catholic card game card's prompt. So this character... Oh, you're fading out on me. Okay. All right. So this character... No, this character could be like U.S. president or
a persona.
It's more of a persona than a specific name. And then the Catholic card game is like a fill in the blank or
So you're going to judge us.
Yeah, and you have to decide who. It's purely subjective. You just go with your gut. Which one did you like the most?
It's like who wore it best.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the character that we have to do is someone who is engaged to be married, and the prompt is, what is talked about at the pub?
What is talked about at the pub? That's a Catholic card game prompt?
It sure is.
That is
Okay.
more Catholic than anything.
Okay.
I was talking to my fiance Seamus, and he was saying that he was going to propose to me with onion rings.
I actually was going to go with pretzels, so you just took that one from me. All right.
Well, mates, here we are back at the Lion and the Child. You know, J.R.R. Tolkien would always talk about the Lord of the Rings, but I finally put a ring on it.
Nice.
You got like Scottish Beyonce.
Whatever.
Oh, I loved it.
No, that was great.
Hey,
What does that say about wedding rings, though?
man, you look forward on your side. I look forward on my side. Just because I'm engaged doesn't need me looking at my ring finger here in the pub, like restroom.
That went from weird to uncomfortable.
All three of those are a great man example of engagements. We all fumbled. We all dropped the ring. You know,
Yep.
none of it went as planned, by the way. Did anyone's engagement go as planned? Mine did not. Not even close.
Yes. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Really?
You have to pick a winner real quick, and then we're going to go into this. Who
I
gets
gotta
80
go with Paul.
points? All
I
right.
laughed. I did. That was the deepest laugh.
Yeah.
All right.
And he-
Top of
and
the
he-
morning to you.
And he tapped in with the Irish pub, which invades any culture. If you travel anywhere, there's always an Irish pub somewhere.
There's a company that
a
sells
Catholic
pub in a
Irish
box.
Pub
It's
in a
thing.
box.
You they ship all the things and you do the interior decorating. It's a cool
They
thing.
should have this
Wow.
Catholic card game pub in a box
Yeah.
expansion set.
I
Well,
love it.
There's also a lot of credit for whoever goes first because it's really this weird tension moment before that. But so listen, we're so grateful to have you
Great.
as our celebrity judge here. So you're going to get a pair of socks from sockreligious.com. You know them well.
Oh yes.
This is the St. Paul because
Thank you. I
you're
love
an amazing
these guys.
you're an amazing man of the church, and we appreciate you. For Beatitudes out there, you can get 10% off your own pair of Sockreligious socks by going to sockreligious.com/Beatitudes. And by the way, how appropriate that this was all about the engaged man. You're talking about fumbling. What happened to you today?
I lost my wedding ring.
Oh.
Yeah,
At-
my
at our
wife's gonna
studio.
watch this.
But we found it since. It's just locked somewhere in someone's office.
Yes. I can't even believe that you found it. You just went to a random office in this office building that's like 7 stories high.
Joe, I got a good sniffer on me. I knew exactly where to go.
And found the guy that
With
found my
one
wedding ring,
conversation. Yep,
Which-
we got it.
which I left in the public bathroom, which I don't know what that says about me, but
So
there
you
it
left,
is.
in
You
the
left
pub.
it in the pub. Dang it.
Sorry. You left it in the pub
Like bathroom.
All right, we're going to commercial. We'll see you in a minute.
The team at Aquinas Wealth Advisors believes that good values and good returns are not mutually exclusive. Using a tech-smart and morally sound approach, they provide investment alternatives that align with Catholic teachings without sacrificing returns. These days, faith-driven investors are finding it hard to know where their money is going. They have no visibility into what their dollars are supporting, but there's a better way. Thanks to the Faith and Finance Score from Aquinas Wealth Advisors, you can look into your current holdings to see what you're supporting and make a switch to an advisor that aligns with your values and gives power to your voice. Check out AquinasWealth.com today.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the Beatitudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot, so whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out DivineComedyImprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Joe Condit, from the Catholic Speakers Organization. Joe, you've done a couple different things in your life. Can you tell us a little bit more about the time you were buying and selling gold?
I can't take credit for anything. The only thing I did was get involved with the brainchild behind that very early on.
Got the end of mystery here.
Yeah. I was I was lucky enough.
I love this. I just got to say, like, background. We met a year ago or so, and you're like, oh, I know this guy. He went to Texas A&M. I'm like, I've had dinner with that guy. He does Texas Precious Metals. Like,
Yeah.
you know that guy?
Yeah.
How do you know that guy?
It's like, I too have done Texas Precious Metals.
Correct.
I love it. Now we're talking about TPM. That's Texas Precious Metals.
I can do the math.
Yeah.
That was another blessing that came into my life. Tarek Saab is a real great Catholic guy. He was the brainchild behind TPM, and I was lucky enough. He called me in 2009, and he's the one that grew it and it attracted the other gentlemen that the Casper family.
Yep.
And that's what actually ultimately moved me down to Shiner.
Oh, there you
Shiner,
go.
Texas, which I ended up in Austin, and now I'm here in Dallas.
Amazing.
So,
Just
yeah.
going up and down
Amazing.
35.
Yeah, you got it.
That's great.
The Texaplex. Well, listen, we were talking about our relationships for this. I think,
Well,
'cause
speaking of gold.
speaking of gold, yes, we thought with how much we talked about how terrible we are as men, we might give ourselves some credit, because that's also what we do by asking the TBD. That's the Beatitudes. It's not really how that works, but the Beatitudes question of the day. Play along at home. We just want the short version of each person here telling their engagement story. Mine, for fun, I'll tell you that first of all, I'm 11 years older than my wife, so let's just, you're old. So I'm driving one day, and I have my parents in the car, and somebody sends me an email from work, and I hand it to her. I said, will you read this to me? Not realizing that my business partner at the time was going to say, I can't wait for your upcoming engagement to Amanda. So she's reading out loud, and I said, give me my BlackBerry. So I said, she starts to say something. I said, don't ever say anything again. And I'm kind of mean. Well, I go to the bathroom when we get to the restaurant, call her mom, and I'm like, this just fell apart. Pretend you don't know anything. So when she called her mom crying, her mom's like, why wouldn't he talk to us beforehand? So now I got to come up with this whole ruse. We go to a ranch. I give her this little Tiffany's box, and when she opens it, it's a pearl bracelet. And you've never seen a woman so disappointed by a pearl bracelet in her life. So we go for a 4-wheeler ride. I propose to her on the backside of the mountain. She comes down thinking it's just going to be like the 6 people that were at the ranch. There was 30 people waiting for us. It was all of our family members, 4-day party.
Oh, there you go.
So I did surprise her after disappointing her. And by the way, that's like a couple $100, ruse I had to pull to just create more surprise. So thanks a lot for that email, buddy. Why would you write that in an email? Nick, what do you got?
We went to the Grand Canyon, went hiking. The day after, it was a cloudy day, and it was like sunset pics at the Grand Canyon. It was like cloudy all day. I'm like, crud. Like, great. And then right at the time, sun broke through, got phenomenal photos, and it went as planned. Yeah.
There you go.
Never seen
That's
these.
the
Although I
first
had
one I've
some
heard.
shaky legs from a 17-mile out and back Grand Canyon hike the day before.
You look nervous. No, baby, I'm cramping.
No, yeah.
I'm cramping.
That ain't you. I mean,
Yeah,
a little bit, but
Need to replenish the electrolytes.
that's right.
Yeah. Well, mine sort of went as planned. So I'll thread the needle between these two stories because, so I took my now wife to our favorite date place at the time was Perry's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And again, it was just like once a year kind of thing. We would go, and that was our
Every Tuesday, whatever.
No, I wish, but no, this was literally, it was like the special place we would go to for a birthday or an anniversary or something like that while we were dating. And so I took her on her birthday, and I had already purchased the ring like a month before, so she had no idea that was on its way. I had been able to calm down a little bit from that, and I had it in the box that my great grandmother, her engagement ring was in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was passed on to me, and there's a whole rest of the story of what we did because we had one of the rings from that relationship as well. So anyway, there's a whole family tie there, but at the engagement, so we're at dinner. I didn't eat very much, so she knew something. She knew something was off, and And it occurred to me in the moment at the restaurant, I was like, well, she doesn't like I'm the outgoing crazy one who likes to be on stage and all that. I was like, she doesn't like big, displays and public attention and all that. So I realized, oh, well, we've taken all these road trips in her car, and her car was passed down from her grandmother. So it's like my great grandmother, the box and her car. And so weirdly, I proposed in the car. But first what I did is I just turned on the overhead light.
Yes.
Because I wanted it to sparkle when I opened the box. And I didn't even get the question out before she was like, "Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing?" and then finally, I actually proposed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it kind of worked, but I felt like I had to call an audible.
Yeah, it sounds like you made the right move.
I think so,
Yeah.
because it was more personal just for us instead of being in a big restaurant setting.
And she cut you off before you did the, well, I've been thinking a lot about your grandmother lately.
No.
I don't think those words were ever said.
No, but thanks for making it uncomfortable in hindsight.
You're ruining my memories.
Did any of your wives claim to black out? That's like a girl thing.
No, if anything, I was the one who blacked out. But
No, but I do love. I took this picture when we got back into our car, and it's just this really it's not the professional photographer, but it's like what I remember of her
Yes.
tearing up and
That's
just being
cool.
so happy in that moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amanda, when I finally proposed, she was like, yes, and why'd you do that to me earlier today, kind of a thing. But when we got back to the house, she thought she was going to walk in and do whatever with her ring, show it off, and nobody's watching. I'm like, putting my arm up. And she walked into a house full of her grandparents and all of our relatives, and she nearly passed out then. She turned and started running, and I had to grab her because she does not want the spotlight.
yeah.
Joey, what'd you do?
I took my my wife to
Texas
Mount Shasta.
Precious metals. No. Mount Shasta.
This can be all yours. That would have.
Any of these gold bars will melt it down.
Wait, did you say Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta, California.
I've never heard of this. That's
yeah,
a real place?
my sister, now this is not a Debbie Downer conversation, okay? My older sister passed away unexpectedly about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And she lived in this town in Mount Shasta. It's a little bit north of San Francisco, about 2 hours up in a mountain town. And so I decided to take Karina to her favorite spot in that town. And the fake picture that we had to take because nothing went right is amazing. You'll see, you can see the background. Same thing with the beautiful, the mountain in the background. But when we did it, we showed up at the spot. It was totally cloudy. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, it felt like. The fog was so thick. So I pretended to take a picture but put it on video, set it up on a picnic table in this park that we were in with a lake behind us. And, I had this whole speech. It kind of came out somewhat of, and I started choking up, and I just went down on one knee and told her how much I love her and will you marry me. But it was just an amazing day because, I kind of felt my sister being there. And Mount Shasta is where we did it. It's also where my sister wanted to take me snowboarding forever. So her and I the next day went and snowboarded for the first time. For me, first time ever on the same mountain my sister learned how to snowboard on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That makes that place
So
special,
cool.
too, to even, I think, tie you back from a family perspective to your own family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
love
So
that.
and then I did surprise her with friends. So I called her best friends, and they all flew in, and that was the actual surprise because she was kind of wondering if I was going to do it when we went on this little trip. So, yeah.
See, we thought about going to the neighboring mountain, Mount Fanta.
Wanta, go
Nothing
to
there.
Fanta.
Tough crowd all of a sudden.
man.
Oh.
Wow. Shasta? No? Anybody?
I mean,
No.
my brain has been racing about, there's really a Mount Shasta. Is that where they get it? Is it a spring?
A soda spring?
It's a gorgeous place, but one of my buddies is really funny, and he started trolling me immediately when my wife posted the pictures. He's like, "Oh man, obviously Condit wasn't aware of the California engagement tax." And he went down this whole elaborate explanation that they tax you 70% of what you bought with the ring. And it's California, so I believed every moment of it for the first half hour.
Yeah.
I was like, they got me again,
Dang it.
I actually think if California is listening, they might do that.
No.
We should get a cut.
Yeah.
like,
It's
Work this in
documented.
we also have a supply of gold and silver for you.
Yes, there you go.
Amazing.
TBD, TPC, the Beatitudes Texas Precious Metals. That is swag I will give for millions.
We should make your guys' own coin.
Of course
Okay.
we should.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Can my hair stick off the top of the coin?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
And then we can tell
That would be
people,
extra.
render unto the Beatitudes what is belongs to the Beatitudes. It's all blasphemous at this point.
Wow.
Joe, this
This is a lot of fun. How close we are, and just we're allowed
it's
to
getting
just.
hotter.
It's getting.
Yeah.
No rules. Just say
Toasted,
what you
yeah.
feel.
I gotta say it was really because I don't do this. You guys do this all the time, but as a guest, you're just a little bit. Now I'm not nervous at all. Like this is
Yeah.
so much fun.
I've watched people that I think are on like major TV and radio all the time get in here, and they start like, and I'm like, what's happening to them? And I realize nobody ever sits this close to you.
So it's a different environment.
I would love to know if your audience knew I was nervous before this very moment, because now I'm ready to
we'll take a
rock.
poll. Yeah, Christopher will tell us what he thought. That'll be in the comments. So watch it on YouTube. If anybody wants to check out YouTube, there's a website.
Yep. At the _Beatitudes, or if you will search Beata -dudes, because something about the whole Beatitudes being
Yeah.
more popular than we are so far.
So far.
So far.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we haven't beat them yet.
In
I don't want to
SEO.
beat the Beatitudes.
I know, right?
What am I
Like,
saying?
yeah, it's a weird thing to say.
In YouTube SEO, it might be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I'll talk to
I don't know.
confessor about this. We'll see what happens. Hey Joe,
It's worth asking.
Joe, every show on Monday finishes differently than every other show. It's called Reverse Simpsons. We just finished the show differently. So we're going to do something nobody knows what I'm about to do. But I'm going to pass out some cards to Nick and to Paul.
I saw my name.
But listen,
written really
don't open this up where Joey can see it, okay? Because
Okay.
what's going to happen, and we're going to do this, we do have an ambulance standing by in case anything happens.
Oh, goodness.
I don't really, I mean, well.
Well,
Do you guys have a wipeout course for me?
So
or
what's
the-
going to happen is these guys are going to have to put a certain number of marshmallows in their mouth, and there's 1, 2, and 3 words that they're going to have to say, and you're going to have to get it right. It's 20 points for each of them if you get it right.
Okay.
If you,
this is amazing.
yeah, so they each can
Chubby
earn up to
bunnies
60 points. If you
words.
get any right, then you get 3 points per one that you get right. And I get 20 points for designing the game.
Oh, this is amazing.
What I don't know is how many of these, and one at a time. Like you don't need to be holding them in your mouth while
Yeah,
Nick's going.
sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't know what the right number is. So Nick,
Let's
would you just kind of
let's
get
just kinda
going?
figure that
There's
out.
3, 6.
Could you touch them all first, though? That would,
Do you want me to public them?
This,
how about I grab
this is
my own?
the reverse
One
COVID
more. I'm-
process.
Yeah.
I think 4.
Well, I can understand you still.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you got to go to 7.
Poor Nick is actually going to be stuck. Like,
Keep going.
yeah. You need another. Okay, this is.
How
you
many
better
are we
watch
at?
this on YouTube.
How
This
many
is
are we
about to be
at?
number 5.
Yeah, we need
Okay.
to punch.
I think
punch
6 is
in
it.
on
I'm
that
dead
camera.
serious. I think 6 is it, and I know that's going to make you choke, but like I said, we've got all of America, the person waiting outside for you.
I was a lifeguard in college, so that's about as far as
That
my
helps.
revival skills go.
That helps.
If something happens,
Okay, now pull out your question number 1, Nick, and you're going to read this out loud. Or your
I'm not allowed to
Word.
look, right? Or
just don't look at his word, but you have to
Okay,
see.
I'll look
you can
this
look at
way.
his face, but Nick, don't act it out. Okay, Nick, he's gonna throw up or something. Push it back in there. Now tell him what the word is, and Joey, let's see if you can get this. Okay, you gotta be. Oh my gosh! Don't ruin our microphones here. Gosh, if you're not watching on YouTube, boy, do you wish you could pull
Yeah.
over that car. He's gonna spit it out.
oh, he's
or go
drooling. That looks like me on a good day. I don't even need.
Go to
I'm
Do
normally
you need
Spiritual
to start
TV
over?
or
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
look.
normally drooling all
This
over
is,
myself.
no, I will promise to cut that part out. None of the mics caught that part.
My goodness.
Why don't we do 6?
That was 6.
That was 6. I
That
thought
was
it was
really
7.
good.
No, he got to 6.
I
Why
need
don't-
a tissue or something.
Yeah, I
Nick,
got
I
you.
drool on myself without the marshmallows. So
Yeah.
Man, this is the strangest podcast.
No,
Jazz.
yeah, let's
I mean,
change the
every single thing you did, like being the first choice here, made it way worse.
we're booking Jeff now for weddings for anyone
Yeah.
interested in these DJ skills.
He's done that before with stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah, I got
That
my
was
hands
either 6 or 7.
At
But they
one
start,
point, I was
they
a
start
professional
disintegrating.
mime. Here we
They
go.
start disintegrating.
If you were
All
a professional mime, you'd
give
be
me 2
4.
more.
Okay.
I'll do 6.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. I'll
I
change.
think it's appropriate,
Listen,
but like impossible.
Here we
based on
go.
The first
We're gonna
word that I
change
can
this up
see
for
here.
you. Okay. Now you start putting this in here while we listen to funky beats.
See, this is better.
Okay.
It is better.
What?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, he's
Okay,
amazing.
go for it. Question. You're gonna ruin your shirt. Question number one.
Number one.
Tell us what's your word number one. Joey, you tell me if you get this right, okay?
Okay.
Or no, you say it out loud, and I'll tell you if you got it right. I'm in charge of that part.
How many times do I get to hear it just once?
What a mess!
Dude, give up. What do you think he said?
The Briar Patch.
That's a pretty good guess.
Okay, we're gonna call that one a no. Why don't you go on to number 2 while you're drooling marshmallows? This is so bad.
I'm gonna preload
Goodness.
tissues over here before my turn.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for number 2? Do you need some more in just case one falls out or something? Here we go. There's some more marshmallows. He is just struggling. I get it. You can do some sort of a rotation there. It's just like being in the public restroom. Okay, number 2. Yeah, go.
You have to see this on YouTube.
By the way, Briar Patch was the Vatican. Why don't we let Paul do one?
Okay, all right.
Paul's going to do his first one, okay?
Oh no.
And Paul, just don't look
Gotta
over
give
Paul's
poor
shoulder.
Nick a rest.
I know, this is amazing.
I can't look at Paul because I don't want to see the words.
Strange. Everybody says we shouldn't do this on podcasts, yet here we are. Here we are. Paul's about to do
This
number
is
1.
genius.
Good job, Joey, looking away. I might have one just for fun here. Okay, number 1. Here we go. Listen. Listen, Joey. You can look at him.
Okay.
There's no way.
Hold on.
I thought I did so.
Ridiculous?
Nope, the Eucharist.
Oh!
Okay. Hey, I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, now Nick is on to number 2. Gosh, this is so much fun to design this stuff. You're doing
Well,
great.
you guys know who
Oh,
not to bring
you're-
on a game show.
Okay, wait. He's ready. You ready for number 2, Nick? Go. Go to Nick. Okay, here we go. He can't repeat it because it all fell out. What did you hear? Just what did you hear?
Oreo tipsy.
Oreo cookie. He gets half
That's
credit.
10
That's
points.
10 points.
Let's go.
Oreo cookie. Oreo tipsy.
Why the heck would you say Oreo chips?
I have no
what does that
idea.
even mean?
That's what I
Okay,
heard.
Paul's number 2. He's ready. He's ready.
One more time. Oh, George Washington.
That's what I heard too.
Rice Krispies.
Wait a minute. Is this like the spelling bee where I can say, can you spell that? Oh, use that in a sentence. Use that in a sentence, please,
Use
Paul.
that as-
Right, he needs a trash can over here.
sorry.
We need to just share this trash
Yeah.
can. Okay, get ready for number 3.
I'm not loading the third one until I can get that trash can back.
Oh my goodness.
One more. Or
Can you
Actually, now my favorite part of Beatitudes history.
Hey, one more.
can you give me
I'm
the
pretty sure-
One more set of 3. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure nobody
sorry,
listening
2 more,
likes
yeah.
this, but I love this.
I also want the language of origin for the next
Yeah.
the next word.
What is the Latin root?
Let me get
Yeah,
this. Let me
okay.
get this bad boy.
He's
out
loading up,
here.
and guys, while he's loading up, I want y'all to know it smells like marshmallows in here.
That's
Hey,
it.
if you could have one
This is
speaker on the
amazing.
Beatitudes right now, who would it be, Joe? While they're stretching their jaw muscles.
One speak like that of the 3 of you?
No, who is the
was gonna say,
next guest? I mean,
That's like making me pick between mom and dad.
and other dad.
With your guys' style, I keep saying it. Boss Rutan would
Okay,
be
wait. Here he goes.
amazing.
Number 3.
He is so much fun.
Number 3.
Oh, the music's gonna help. One more time.
Okay, what do you think he said? You still have to take a guess no matter what.
Oh, I was gonna.
Friars.
I was gonna reload.
What
one
you
more time.
reload? Yeah.
Can I reload
Yeah,
one more?
because Paul's gonna take a shot here.
One more attempt at number.
And then you seen it already or no? Okay. Yeah, just get this going here. If you're listening still, congratulations. Any listener who will put in the comments, I'm still listening on YouTube, you will get 46 points. Here we go. Joe, you can take a couple guesses. I'm trying to help this guy
No,
out.
I'll play the game and did it once. It's very
The trash
entertaining
can.
or something
Trash can.
energy.
You were very not close. It's magnanimity.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't even if you said that word normally, I probably wouldn't be able to repeat it.
Okay, here's number 3 for Nicholas.
Number 3.
We got that
Number
part.
3. Number 3. Oh, Nick, try again. Can you just
Oh, I got it. I know it. I know what it is.
I'm the worst at game shows. What? 43. I know it's not it.
Oh, that's the first half of it is basically right.
What was it, Paul?
Fortitude.
Oh my
right.
goodness.
So with a final score of 10 to 0 to 0 to, I think I got 3 points. Guys, how did that feel? Just a quick reflection on going from.
I look forward to doing that again in season 3.
Okay.
Yes, we need to bring that one
That
back.
one can come back.
That'll be a reverse Simpsons that we repeat.
Oh, good. I was afraid you guys are going to be like, where your eyes start tearing up and you're like, I'm choking, Jeff. I hope you're having fun over there.
6 was a little ridiculous, which made it perfect.
Yep.
I would love to see how many of your listeners are able to guess right without knowing the answers.
I know. We should just have a whole segment. In fact, when we launch the members only platform after this goes $1 million, then we
An
will.
episode.
Yep. Then we will have that game where people can live interact with us on all that. Longest we've ever listened to this piano music. Joe, this has been a blast. We have a bonus show with you on Friday. You ready to come back for the bonus show?
On Friday? This Friday?
We record it tonight, Joe.
Oh. I am a terrible guest. No, absolutely. I love it. I will be back this Friday.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We can't wait to
Look
see you there.
forward to it.
Well, we're going to premiere on Friday. We will.
See you in the Eucharist.
Put 6 in your mouth? Come on. Don't
Some of those
just-
words, even if you didn't have marshmallows in your mouth, I probably would have struggled.
I got you. Watch this. Nick.
See you in the Eucharist.
This is the dumbest.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @ so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @the_Beatitudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.